Narc Survivor here to shed some light on this topic. Why isn't the narcissist coming back? Of course, it could be very confusing because it's like, initially they presented themselves to you as the one, your soulmate, your perfect match in every sort of way. So of course it's going to be very confusing when they start turning against you, devaluing you, discarding you, not coming back. Of course this is going to be a very confusing experience for you because it doesn't add up. It doesn't make any logical sense. If two people are so similar, they've got so much in common, if they are alike, then why would there be such differences? Why would there be such conflict, a huge disagreement? Why would they turn against you? Why would you then part ways? That's just it. You wouldn't. So even though it may seem as though they've gone off with a new supply, and that person is more similar to them, it's actually very different to how it seems. They are nothing like you. They are the exact opposite of you. They came into your life to dismantle your operations. They wanted to take that apart because they are not aligned with you in any sort of way. Forget about what they presented to you. They presented to you whatever they knew you would like, whatever would get you to go along with it. They are actually your enemy, your opponent. That's why they were opposed to you. They were opposed to everything you do, everything you stand for. They're not with you on any of that. Forget about the image that they display to you. That's all a mirage. That's used just to manipulate you, to keep you under a spell. Because they envy those qualities in you. And what qualities are we talking about? We're talking about the desire, the passion, enthusiasm, the positive energy to where you're wanting to make something happen. They don't have that on their own. They are stuck in a void. They feel empty inside. So they've got to get that from you. That drive, that passion, that enthusiasm, that positive energy that has the ability to create, to make something, to manifest something into reality. That's what they're trying to extract from you because it makes them feel alive. It gives them a thrill. It makes them feel good about themselves. But in order for them to get that from you, they have to be an object of your desire. They have to become something that you are passionate about. And so that's exactly what they do. They mirror you. Because of course you're going to like that if it's a reflection of you. It's a reflection of your interests, your desires. But that's not really them. And actually they are opposed to everything that you try to achieve, that you try to accomplish, because they're not able to do that on their own. How can they accomplish or manifest anything by themselves when they lack the passion, the drive, the enthusiasm? When they feel empty inside, of course they can't. And that's why they try and get that from you, so that they can appear normal to other people. Because once they've lost you, they've got to find a new supply. They've got to find someone else to extract attention and validation from. Because you're no longer believing in their lies. You don't believe in it anymore. You realize that there's someone beneath that mask. Or at least you should by now. It was all just mirroring to your interests because they want your life force energy. This is why they could never be passionate or interested in you. It was all negative. It was all about taking away from you. Because they're missing that. And this is why they always seem so depressed. This is why they're never grateful, satisfied with anything that they have. It's always more with them, and they always get very greedy. It's never enough. Because they've got a void that can never be filled. The only thing that really keeps them afloat is the attention, validation, admiration, narcissistic supply. And they get that by mirroring you, or by keeping you under control, making you think that there's something wrong with you, or that you're less than who you actually are. This is how they do that. And so this is why they're not coming back, is because you don't believe in it anymore. You're not validating the illusion. You're not seeing them as they want to be seen. And you're not seeing yourself as they want you to see you, so that you can remain under their control. Because if you're not going to validate the illusion, if you're not going to view them as perfect, then you have to see it as though there's something wrong with you. You have to see it as though you're broken, you're crazy, or something is just bad about you for whatever reason. You're just not good enough. You have to see yourself that way so that they can feel secure within themselves. And if you're going to do that, they'll just go off a new supply. And they'll smear you, they'll try and turn people against you. Because they're trying to avoid reflecting on the fact that, yes, there's something inherently wrong with them. But they are the ones who are broken. They are the ones who are miserable. They are the ones who can't be happy with anything you do for them. So yeah, essentially you're no longer useful to them. But forget about the mirage for a moment. It's not that you're no longer useful to this perfect, amazing, wonderful person. That's not what this is about. You're no longer useful to a parasite, a leech. And that is something to feel good about. To no longer be useful to someone like that. And it's because you set boundaries. You put walls around yourself. Now they can't get in. They can't get at you. They can't get what they want out of you. Your passion, your energy, your enthusiasm, your drive. They can't take that from you now because you set those boundaries. Or because you're no longer reacting to them. And this all goes back to their childhood. I mean, many of them, they weren't breastfed as children. They weren't held in their mother's arms. They weren't given proper attention. Their mother wasn't that reactive to them. They weren't soothed, pacified by their mother in childhood. And so they're constantly just looking for that now. They're looking for someone to baby them, pamper them, make them feel better about themselves, make them feel important. That's what they're looking for now. And that's what they were looking for in you. That's what made you a source of supply initially, because you were reactive to it. You believed in it. You thought that it was real. You thought that something actually exists. Until gradually you no longer fell for their lies and future faking. And that's when they turned against you. Because that's another way for them to get supply. Also by triangulating you with other people. And this is something they also did in their childhood with their parents. They triangulated their parents against each other. And they may have gone back and forth between them. And that may be what they're going to be doing now. Going back and forth between you and this new supply. And really this is just a reflection of what they did, what they went through in their childhood. If this is good for you so far, give it a thumbs up. Thank you. But yeah, I can tell you they hate it when you see through them, when you catch on to their game, when you set boundaries, when you no longer tolerate the abuse, when you won't put up with it anymore. They hate it when you do that. They can't stand it. And that's why when they go silent, that's meant to be a punishment. Because they're expecting, they're hoping that you're still viewing them in the way that they want to be seen. You still believe in the false character. That's what they are counting on. You still have hope, you still have faith in it. So that when they pull away, when they give you the silent treatment, it's going to hurt you. It's going to leave you longing and yearning for them to come back. That's what they're hoping will happen. That's the result that they're expecting. Because That way they can keep getting supply. They can keep feeling like they still have control over you. And I know we're banging and booming here right now. Got all of the noise happening, all of the distractions, people waving their arms outside everywhere. It's all happening here today. And, let it just propel this message and make it even more powerful and inspirational for you. But yeah, that's what they're really counting on. When they cut you off, when they give you the silent treatment, they're expecting you to hold on to the illusion that they display to you. They do not want you going off realizing what you just dealt with and having that image in your head. No, they're hoping that you're holding on to the false character. And that's how they're able to disappear. That's how they're able to give it the silent treatment. Because otherwise, if they thought you're going off knowing who they really are, then they're going to be smearing you. They're going to be running your name into the ground. Because they will fear the rejection and exposure. They will fear that loss of control. They only feel in control when they give it the silent treatment, because they're hoping that you're still holding on to the false character, the illusion. But yeah, they're not going to come back now. After you seen through them, after you set boundaries, after you weren't willing to be their doormat, you have now wounded their ego. They can't face rejection or admit defeat. They will run away from it. So they're not going to come back just so you can see through them again, just so you can realize that, hold on a minute, there's some misalignment, there's some incongruence between this false character that's being displayed to me and who this person actually is. They're not going to come back just so you can come to that realization. They're only going to come back if you're not going to see the cracks in what they're presenting to you. They don't want you to see through it. They want you to believe in it. Meanwhile, all of the abuse is going on. All of these things are happening to you. It's affected your mental and emotional health, maybe your physical health as well. It's causing all sorts of chaos and disruption for you in your life. But they want you to ignore all of that and still just worship this false image. Believe that they're something that they're not. Even while your entire life is rotting away, it's decaying, they still want you to go along with it. And honestly, it's a very difficult thing for people to do. We may be able to for a certain amount of time, but gradually, it just takes the life out of us. It really does. Because they often just don't even give us anything back to even make it seem believable. They haven't got anything to give. It's really just all an illusion. So it's a very difficult thing to believe in. Unless, of course, you have a powerful imagination. And that's what they're counting on as well. Is that they can implant these images in your minds, get you thinking and feeling about it, believing in it, when really no, there's actually nothing there. They are completely empty. All that they have is a void. When they come around you, they leech off you, the parasites. So they take from you and then they give you a little bit back in return. And what do they give you back in return? They never give you enough to where you're actually satisfied. But what they do give you is hope. And that is what you cling to. That is what keeps you stuck. That's what keeps you holding on. And yet you mistake that for something. You mistake breadcrumbs for a full loaf. Because you've been starved for such a long time, so you see nothing as something. When really, no, you've got to step back and realize it isn't anything. You've got to give that love to yourself. Because by you practicing self-love, By you validating yourself, by you seeing your worth, you are then going to see through it more and more. You're going to realize that this person can't give you anything. This person can't take care of you. They can't even take care of themselves. Because just look at where they are at in the mind. Look at how they are doing in life. Are they even in any sort of condition that you aspire to? Where you want to be? No, of course not. That's the why you're the one who is trying to help them. You're trying to lift them up. You're trying to make them better. You're trying to calm them down. They're not anything that you aspire to be. And so what makes you think that they could be anything good for you? That's just it. You cling to the hope. You cling to the possibility of something happening in the future. The possibility that maybe you can fix or save them when you can't. You will never be able to do that. That will never be a possibility for you or for anyone else who gets involved with them. I mean, if that was going to happen with anyone, it would have happened with you by now. But it didn't. It wouldn't. And the reason is because you just can't save them. You just can't make them better. And it is not your responsibility to do that. And that is what you've got to understand. Stop placing this burden, this responsibility on yourself. Yes, what happened to them is very sad. But don't make it your job to make things better for them. You are not their therapist. You are not their slave. You do not exist just to worship them, just to make them better. And the more that you try to do that, the more that you're just going to be depriving yourself of what you need. Because you're giving all of this love and care to them. You're validating them. You're making them feel wonderful. You're making them love themselves, at least this false version of themselves. You're making them believe that it's real. But what are you getting out of it? By propping this person up, by being a rug for them to walk on, what do you get out of that? And that's how you should know that this is not sustainable. Because they cannot sustain themselves. But yeah, they're not coming back. They're giving you the silent treatment to punish you because you set boundaries. You didn't let them run all over you, destroy you, steal from you. And instead, you saw through the illusion. You chose to protect yourself. And they don't like that. When they see something about you, something that they want, they feel entitled to it. They feel like they should get to run it into the ground. Use it up for all it's worth. That's how they feel about it. And when they don't get to do that, it injures their pride and ego. So now they want to punish you by giving you the silent treatment, by trying to make you believe that you've lost the one, the soulmate, this reflection of yourself. When actually, no, you were giving more and more of yourself to this person. Your attention, your time, your validation, you gave it all to them. And so you lost parts of yourself. But those parts of yourself are not them. They stole from you, yes, but they can't sustain it. And even what they have, it isn't even real, because it's not something that they are aligned with that means anything to them. All they care about is narcissistic supply. But yeah, they want to give it the silent treatment. Yeah, they want to punish you. Yeah, they think they've broken you by leaving you in pain. And yeah, it is feeding their ego. It's making them feel important. When they leave you in pain and distress, longing and yearning for them to come back, chasing after this illusion. Because it makes them feel alive. It makes it feel more real for them. So that's why they do that. That's why they bait you in and then they switch it up on you. It's like they're just stringing you along. It's like Hansel and Gretel, they're just laying down the breadcrumbs, but you don't know where it leads. If you could see into the future, if you could see where it goes, if you could see the end of the trail, you would see that it doesn't lead you anywhere good. You would see that it does not lead you to what you're looking for. It does not lead you to anything that aligns with you. It leads you to an enemy, an opponent, someone who is the opposite of you. Someone who wants to dismantle, disassemble everything that you have established because they're against it. They do not recognize or appreciate that in you. They envy you. They want all of that for themselves. And when you realize that, you realize that they were never deserving of you. They were never deserving of your time and attention. They never deserved anything from you because they were nothing like you. But yeah, just because they've given you the side treatment, just because they're trying to punish you, just because they got a new supply, it doesn't mean that they're gone for good. They're going to milk that new supply for all it's worth. They're going to run it into the ground. They're going to get as much as they can out of it. But they're still not going to be satisfied. There's still not going to be enough for them. And so they are going to come back to you at some point, in many cases. And then they're going to try and get as much of you as they can. They're going to drain the life of you. And then they're going to go back onto someone else again. And just go back and forth between you. Just trying to get as much as they can. Because no one person can fulfill someone like that. Someone who's completely empty. Someone who constantly needs supply. No one can satisfy someone like that. It's impossible. And yet they twist it around and make it seem like there's something wrong with you. No, you just got to look back and you remember how much you gave to them, how much you poured into them. And yeah, remind yourself of how they didn't appreciate it. It wasn't good enough. They saw all sorts of things wrong with it. And it's because there's something wrong with them. I mean, it wouldn't mean that there's something wrong with them. Now pay attention to this. It wouldn't mean that there's something wrong with them if they were giving more than that to themselves before they got involved with you. So that could be different. If you see someone coming across as very arrogant, entitled, very mean, demanding, it could be that they were giving themselves more before they got involved with you. But typically that's happening to you. You were giving yourself more before you got involved with them. And yet they twist it around on you and make you feel like you're not good enough for them. When actually, no, it's a projection. They are the ones who are depriving you. But yeah, there is a clear difference there. You will notice that with narcissists and people who, they may be successful, they may be accomplished, they may expect a certain level of treatment because maybe they put in the hard work and they're able to provide a certain quality, a certain standard for themselves. So naturally, when they get in a relationship with someone, at the very least, they're expecting it to be the same as what they can do for themselves. And if not, then they might get angry about it. They might not be happy about it. And, you know, that's understandable. That makes sense. What we're talking about with these narcissists is that you upgraded their lives. They were far worse off before they met you. And you've just got to look back and remind yourself of that. Remember everything you gave, everything you provided to them. But they were never satisfied. They always wanted more. because they're completely empty. But yeah, they're hoping that you're going to be holding on to the false character, the illusion, hoping that it's going to come back at some point. And if you believe in it, it will come back. I can tell you that. There's a good chance it's going to come back. If you believe in it, if you're susceptible to it. Of course, there's a good chance then, because if you believe in it, that means there's something in it for them. More attention, validation, supply. So this is a measure of your healing. This is a measure of how far you've come. If they're no longer coming back, if they're no longer giving you the false character, giving you the illusion, if they're no longer trying to lure you into things, it's a good sign that you are coming along on your awareness, your healing, your growth. Because these people, they mess around with those who are unhealed, people who don't know what they're dealing with. And perhaps, you know, this is why a lot of people who do have true strength, true confidence, awareness, they tend to be the ones who are alone. And, you know, you look at things like the music industry, the fashion industry, people you see in all of the clubs and all of the malls. These are people who are searching for something, people who are unhealed, unaware. And so they're still in the matrix. They're still susceptible to things. Or they're seeking supply. But you pull yourself out of it once you reach a certain level of awareness. Once you heal yourself. And that's when they're not going to come back. And that's when a lot of your friends from the past, your old drinking buddies, people you used to go to the bar with, they're all going to fall off. You're not going to hear from them anymore. Because it's the same thing. They want to be around someone who is still doing what they're doing, partying, drinking. They want to be around people like that, not people who have grown. People who are more aware now, people who are healed, people who are centered within themselves. So that's what you're going to notice. It's like, yeah, people are going to fall off. Yeah, you're going to become more isolated. Because this is your time now. This is your time to build your character, to focus on your growth. And I can tell you there is no better feeling in the world than that. And I know that as someone who has done that myself. Because yeah, I've taken the steps to grow, to learn who I am, to know myself. And to learn about everyone else as well. But that's the thing, because you don't want to get it mixed up. You want to recognize that when you're around other people, especially those who are narcissistic, no matter how much they try to paint it a certain way, you're learning about them, not yourself. Everything you think you've learned about yourself from being around them, you're just learning about what type of person they are. Because you can't even be yourself around them. They view you as an extension of them. So you're learning about them, not you. You're learning about their nature. It's only when you get away from them and you spend some time by yourself, that's when you begin to learn who you are. You don't learn anything from being around them. So don't let them twist things. Don't let them gaslight you. That's what they want to do. They want to keep you confused. They want to keep you under a spell. Because that's how they control you. That's how they keep you stuck as their supply. So yeah, I guess the lesson is to stop believing in the false character. I mean, you can believe in it for a certain amount of time initially. You could believe in it at the beginning, but if you're not seeing anything come into fruition, there's a reason for that. It's because you're not similar. They don't want what you want. You're not alike. This isn't someone who you can bond with. They're just mirroring you. They're just trying to get supply. And really, they are your enemy, your opponent, because they're trying to dismantle, disassemble everything you built because they want that for themselves. And they want to destroy it in you so that it doesn't show them up. Because they want to become the new you now. They want to become the one who is driven, passionate, enthusiastic, happy. They want to become that version of you, like you were when you were chasing after the illusion. They want to do that now. So recognize that. Recognize that what you're dealing with, it isn't even real. It's all a mirage. And then by doing that, you're going to feel a lot better. You won't feel like you've actually lost something. I mean, you have lost something. You've given parts of yourself away to them. But you're thinking that you've lost a person. No, you've just given your energy to them. And they can't give that back. So you've lost nothing in them. It's just you've given to them. And you're mistaking that for a bond, a connection. When no, they just stole from you, that's all. Shirley says, they say the best words you ever heard at first. The guy's connection and deep emotions was there. Sex could not be more perfect. It all comes down to you. That's what I would say about that. When you feel like you have this deep bond, this deep connection, and the sex is so good, it's all in your mind. It's all based on a narrative that you're telling yourself. That's all that it is. You're holding on to the false character. Because the reality is that sex with someone who's narcissistic is never going to be anything good. They're self-absorbed, they lack empathy, they're exploitative, they're toxic, harmful. Sex can only be damaging to you. And actually what I would say is that if you are enjoying what you think is a connection, what appears to be good sex with a narcissist, if you enjoy that, that is a reflection of the harm that has been done to you. For you to see that as normal or enjoyable. Because once you get to a certain level of healing, you will begin to experience disgust of even the thought of it. Because it is all an illusion, it's all in your imagination, and they feed into that. It's a shared fantasy. No narcissist is ever going to be good at sex. They will never know how to love you, how to care for you. They can only reflect back to you. They can mirror. And you might mistake that as it being something outside of you, but it's really not. It's just a blank canvas. It's not anything genuine. It's just a mirage. Amanda Shirley says, you got a perfect silent treatment from me because of a sudden change of behavior towards me. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to give them the silent treatment because they just switched up all of a sudden. I mean, all right, fair enough. If it's no longer fresh, if it's already gone stale, throw it in the trash. Get rid of it. That's what I say. If it's no longer the same as what it was, then it's no good. Heike Homestead says they can never be wrong. You are the one wrong for noticing their bad behavior. That's it. They see it as though there's something wrong with you just because you noticed it. Even if you didn't point it out, they're constantly scanning you, your body language, facial expression, tone of voice, because they are quite heavily impaired in terms of affective empathy. They can't feel what you feel. They can only try and read into you with cognitive empathy. So, yeah, they can detect when you feel like something is off by reading into your body language or just how you're behaving around them. And then they have to see it as though something is wrong with you, as a defense mechanism. John Tracy says, I went no contact with the whole town she comes from. Sometimes that's what you got to do. I mean, you know, so many people in this world are like sheep. I'm telling you, it's like, you know, if you dealt with a smear campaign, they're all just like bots. It's like the same person in many different bodies. Even though it could be people of different genders, different ages, it's the exact same personality. And then as soon as they spot someone who's different, then they just want to devour you, because your qualities are very special in that environment. No one else has those qualities. So then it becomes a free-for-all. It's like every man for himself. And they all just want to jump on you and just extract what they can. So yeah, be very careful, you know, when you're around certain people. Because many people, they are all the same. They have no identity of their own. And it's a real problem in society today. I mean, you've only got to look back at the Slim Shady days. And then there's Kim Kardashian. Remember them? They were all like clones. They were all like exactly the same. And just go on TikTok trends, everyone's the same. No one has any real identity of their own. There's no individuals. They're all identical. So of course, when they see someone special, when someone stands out, when someone's doing something different, they all just want to jump on it and copy it. Not because they're really about it, they just want the attention or a sense of belonging. So many people in this world are fake. Peggy Homestead says you don't need to do or be anything to be loved. Real relationships love you for you, good, bad, and ugly. You don't have to earn it. That's right, you know, they try and get you to perform. Narcissists want you to perform for them, because that's how they were taught to do in their childhood. They were taught that it's all a performance. They can't just be themselves, they have to perform. But now they want to be the parent, and they want to get you to perform for them. They want you to perform like a clown in the circus, just so they can boo you. The George says, sex is good for you, maybe not for them though. For narcissists, I mean, you know, what I would advise for them is definitely to stay away from sex, because they've got so much trauma and it's really not helping them. The best thing that they can do is just avoid having sex. Spend more time with themselves. Sex is probably better for emotionally healthy people. People who can acknowledge the separation and actually experience a genuine, stable connection, so that sex doesn't become a harmful act of enmeshment. So that's my opinion on it. I mean, but yeah, I mean, when you're having sex with a narcissist, it's going to be harmful for you. It's going to intensify the trauma bond. It's going to deepen their control over you. And it's going to be harmful for them too, because it's enabling them. So everyone gets hurt. I mean, it's not going to be good for anyone. Anything, any kind of engagement with a narcissist, it's not going to be good for anyone involved. I mean, the only way that you can really, dare I say, even win, but at least the only way you can get out of it alive, with the least amount of harm possible with a narcissist, is just to pump and dump. Just get in, do the deed, and get out of there while you still can. I mean, that's all you can really do with them. And you know, that's why many of you, it's like, you feel disappointed. You know, if they withhold that from you, if they're not even intimate anymore, because they haven't got anything else to give anyway. All they can really give is like the physical act, and even then, you've got to take some time out. You've got to take some time to recover, even after engaging with them, because there is no such thing as healthy or good sex with a narcissist. It doesn't exist. All that you're doing is you're feeding the fantasy. Your body, your mind, your soul, it's all being harmed in the process of having sex with a narcissist. It's not benefiting you in any way. It's not healing you. It's not making you feel better. It's just distracting you. It's giving you a fantasy. That's what you're feeding into. So it's a temporary form of escapism, and then afterwards, when you come back to reality, you're left to deal with the damage. Because there is no connection with narcissists. They cannot be vulnerable. They cannot connect. And that's why as time goes by, you notice the trauma bond intensifies, you feel stuck, trapped, and then you've got a lot of work to do. Game of Life says they use your energy to create your perfect fantasy. Exactly. And think about it, you could have just done that on your own. And that's what you should do, because by you using your own energy to create your own fantasy, then there's no trauma bond. Then there's just something that acts kind of as a form of escapism, something that can treat any painful negative emotions. It's a form of optimism, faith, self-confidence. Now that can actually aid towards the beginning stages of your healing journey. So you don't need to get that from them. You don't have to give them your energy just so they can give a bit back to you. Just give it to yourself. It's going to work out much better for you, because they're just going to withhold your energy from you. They're going to use it to toy with you, to play games with you. So if you had never given them your energy, your attention to begin with, you would have been far better off. And that's just it. You will always be far better off every time if you just don't entertain it to begin with. If you just keep that energy to yourself. And that's what they don't want you to know. That's how it makes their manipulation effective. Michael Nightwolf says, some people have so much trauma and damage, and sometimes you do as well. Not good as a couple. Well, that's interesting, because if two people have an equal amount of trauma, similar amounts, then they should vibe quite well, usually, especially short term. It's kind of like people who drink alcohol or do drugs together. They typically get on very well, but they would not be able to associate with someone who's healthier. So that's typically how it works, is we bond well with people who are on a similar level of healing or of trauma. But then also we can look up to people who have qualities that we desire to possess, or are further along on the journey than we are, or have a greater level of wisdom or understanding. We can admire that. And even though that may not be where we are at the moment, we may hope that it's where we can be at some point in the future. But if we have no self-belief, if we can't picture ourselves getting there at some point, then it may feel threatening. It may push us away. And of course, that's how it is with narcissists. The George says they just use sex to numb their senses of how bad of a person they are and control people. That's pretty much it. I mean, they're looking to be an object of your desire. They're trying to get you to worship them just so they can continue living in denial, never having to accept the truth about themselves. Shirley says, I'm on celibate after the narcissist. Yeah, I know it can be frustrating and very tempting to just want to have sex with someone after the narcissist. It can. And I get that. I completely understand it, because you've had to go through so much emotional harm, and you just want to relieve the pain. You may be seeking validation. You want to feel loved. You may be desiring even connection. And it's natural to feel that way. But honestly, what you need more than anything at that time is yourself. And yeah, the greatest gift you can give to yourself is yourself. Rather than just going off with another person, even if it is only for a short time, as many people do. But yeah, I can understand how it can be tempting. But honestly, being celibate, it can change everything for you. It won't change much initially, but if you give it time, gradually, you will begin to feel much better. And funny enough, when I began my journey, when I first discovered about narcissistic abuse, and when I was recovering after I attempted to take my own life, towards the end of 2017, I was then celibate for about 2 years as I was building my channel. And yeah, I'm sure that what I was able to create, a lot of it was probably largely the result of sexual frustration from being celibate. And so use that to your advantage. Your sexual energy is very powerful. And yeah, I mean, once you get to a certain level on the healing journey, when you start to feel more secure within yourself, you're not going to be looking for that so much anyway. You're not going to care so much about relationships or sex. You're not really going to be looking for it. And that's the irony of it. But yeah, even I myself, I'm celibate right now. And, I always am. I come here to Malaysia. I come here to visit my cat, Nala, and here. And I travel around a bit. I enjoy the food. I go to the gym 7 days a week, working out. And of course, as you know, I'm making my videos every day. But yeah, I just stay celibate here. I don't see any reason to be intimately involved with anyone. And I've been coming to this country since 2020. About 5 years I've been coming here. And I've traveled to every part of the country. And there was only one time that I was ever intimately involved with anyone. Other than that, I just stayed celibate. And, I've done a lot of work here. And not just the work, I've seen so many places. I've explored so much. And of course, I know, if I wasn't celibate here, I wouldn't have done a fraction of the work that I did. I wouldn't have explored a fraction of what I explored. There's just no way. It would have drained my energy and time. But yeah, I can't really say. I'm not really sexually interested in, this part of the world so much. Like Malaysia, Thailand, Not really my type of women. What I really like is like Spanish, Latina. That's more my thing. And as many of you may know, I was in the Philippines for 5 months. So I come back here, and this is just my place to relax and just, focus on the work now. PB says slamming doors, having temper tantrums, breathing heavy. Even when we're not yelling, they still find a way to try and get your attention. Oh, they gotta have your attention. They can't live without it. And yeah, those are typical things they do. They love to slam the doors. Just anything to make noise, to make you notice them. They need your awareness. And you can't even be aware of yourself when you're around them. Because they want to be aware of yourself in them. That's what makes them feel better. Kim H says, I don't know about you, but I'm already emotionally damaged, and I don't need to be another emotionally damaged person. Well, that's good, because the fact that you're able to come out and say that, not only admit it to yourself, but even express that in this live chat, that's a good sign that you're going to be, unfortunately, one of the few who will heal from this at some point in time. Because the ones who don't heal are the ones who can't admit it to themselves. And yes, we can talk about how, it's like who damaged us. We didn't just do it to ourselves. But then we also have to take personal responsibility, because they're not going to do anything about it. We have to heal ourselves. Only we can. But yeah, just by having the awareness, the acceptance of it, you're already a step up on the journey of healing. So, celebrate that. That's something to be proud of, is that you have the awareness of the harm that has been done, and you can accept it. You can deal with the feelings of fear, guilt, or shame. And of course, that was something I had to do. I mean, back in 2017, the end of 2017, I was suicidal. And I'm sure a big part of it was because I couldn't accept what had been done to me. I couldn't accept that I was the one who was damaged then. And that's really the biggest hurdle that you have to get over at the beginning. And once you're over that, much of it really gets smooth sailing. I mean, this is the main thing that prevents narcissists from healing, is them just being unable to accept that they are damaged. And also that lack of belief in them being able to heal. John Tracy says, yes, even now, if someone knocks my front door too loud, it can get the adrenaline going. That's completely normal. There's nothing abnormal about that at all. For someone who is a victim of narcissistic abuse, yes, you're going to be on edge. You're in a constant state of fight or flight. And at least one good sign from that is that your adrenal glands aren't completely fatigued. Because if they were, it's like even a bomb can go off and you just don't even jump. So it's good that you can feel that, because it means that your adrenal glands are still working. I mean, they may be overactive, but they're still doing something. Amanda Shirley says, I will be celibate for life after that. I was for a very long time before encountering him, quite happily. I can't say I blame you there, Amanda. I mean, you know, that's what these people will do to you. They will make you hate sex. They will make you hate the opposite sex. They'll make you just not want anything to do with sex or relationships ever again. And they may even turn some people gay, lesbian. I'm sure it can happen, because these people are a huge turn-off. I mean, this is one of those things that they can make you celibate. And, you know, they're so twisted, so warped in their perception, is that they see it as though it gives them a sense of control. I mean, honestly, if you're that bad that you make someone celibate, or hate sex, hate relationships, hate men, hate women, you've got to be really screwed up to be able to do that to someone. But of course, this is what these individuals do. Rip the Mask Off says being celibate is healing. Yes, it is. It really is. It can be horrible when you're going through it. It can be very frustrating. But in time, you will look back and you will be glad that you took that time out. And you will see the growth following it. But, you know, we must also look at the other side and realize that we are sexual beings. I mean, one of our main purposes in life is to procreate, is to mate. And so we have to be aware of that, you know, the truth of ourselves as human beings. We are here to have sex. And, you know, while we can take some time out and be celibate, you know, we still have to accept that, because that is a part of who we are. And we do have a sexual purpose. And, you know, as I've spoken about before, I feel like we all have a purpose sexually, as empaths, as people who are not narcissistic. I would hope that all of you, if you haven't already, will pass on your genes. Because we could definitely do with some more empaths in this world. You know, there's so many narcissists out there who are procreating, and just look at the state of the world now. We need more people who are compassionate, people who look out for each other. I mean, honestly, if it was up to me, if I made the rules around you, I'd have it so that all of the narcissists stay celibate. While all of the empaths have to be on a mission like rabbits. I think that would solve a lot of problems here over time. Thank you for the donation, Arwen Perea. Layla says they'll also make you feel threatened by members of your own gender, by their womanizing behaviors or menacing. Everyone becomes competition. It's exhausting. You lose so many friendships. Yeah, they put people against you because they recognize your worth. They recognize that you are superior to them. And so they need a lot of people to turn against you because they see just how wonderful you are. "101 live viewers, give this video a thumbs up if it has been good for you. Good to see more of you in this one. And yeah, you got nothing to worry about them not coming back. That is a blessing in disguise. You have lost an enemy, an opponent. Someone who doesn't align with you, someone who's nothing like you. They're not really similar to you in any way. They were just pretending to be similar to you, to get you to fall for them, to get you to see them as something that you would like. But it's like, it's a paradox, because if they're so similar to you, if they are something that you would want, that you would like, then they would just be that. But they're not. And instead, no, they're the enemy. They are going silent. They are trying to punish you, trying to get you to believe in something that doesn't even exist, at least not in them. And yeah, they just take what you've got, your wonderful qualities, and now they're trying to play that out with someone else. Because yeah, that was it all along, is that they wanted to be you. And now they've gone off with someone else and they're pretending to be you with that other person. They've taken on your drive, your passion, your enthusiasm, the story you created, the meaning that you gave to it. They're now indulging in that with someone else. But even then, they can't really experience that. It's just all about themselves. It's all about how wonderful they are now that they stole that from you. And that's all that is. It isn't anything more. And when you realize that, you'll be able to separate yourself from it by realizing you lost nothing. I mean, yeah, you lost some energy. You lost a bit of your power there. But you can regenerate it. You don't have to get it from them. And they couldn't give that to you anyway. It's gone into the void. It never returns. They can give you a little bit back, but it's just breadcrumbs. It just pulls you back in. Leaves you longing for more. It will never keep you satisfied. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on another Narc Survivor live video. If this video is good for you, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe, click on notifications so that you will be notified when I upload a new video or go live again. Drop your thoughts down below in the comment section and let me know if you have any questions. I read your comments every day. Let's start a discussion. Your donations are greatly appreciated, no matter how small. You can donate by going to paypal.me/Narc Survivor. If you would like guidance to support your healing journey, book a one-on-one with me today by going to narcsurvivor.co.uk. And if you would like to see more content, my travels, and also short videos that I post on my Instagram, you can follow me. It is Narc Survivor YouTube. Nala's busy cleaning her tail. That's definitely one of the plus points of having a cat, is the self-cleaning feature. It cleans itself. But yeah, it's good to be back with Nala. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you all for joining me. And I will speak to you in another Narc Survivor live video very soon.